Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive.
Hello.
Today, we're really getting into your sources on Durand's journey. It's quite a story.
It really is. Starts simple, but spirals into something much bigger.
Exactly. We're going to unpack all those layers, the magic, the politics, the personal stuff, trying to find those connections hidden in the material you've given us.
Definitely. Well, look at how all these, strange events and encounters and this kingdom that's kind of teetering on the edge, how it all reshapes his view of, duty, family, even what's real. The sources really paint this picture of a world where these, let's say, ancient forces are constantly messing with people's lives and existence itself.
So let's jump in. Imagine this young guy, Durand. His plans seem set, but then prophecies, politics, these otherworldly things, they just throw it all into chaos. Okay, so Durand, he's a second son, right? Writing with Sir Kieren. And it's Traveler's Night, which already sounds a bit ominous. The sources say people don't sleep outside then. Horses get spooked.
Yeah, it's definitely a time of bad omens in this world.
Yeah.
An unsettling backdrop right from the start.
And his goal is pretty straightforward. He spent, 14 years training?
14 years at Ekanel, yeah. Planning to get to his father's place, get the money for knighting, inherit Gravenholm. That was the life plan.
Seems simple enough, but what were those first hints right at the beginning that things were going to go sideways, even for someone familiar with the story like you?
Well, the sources hit you almost immediately with that wolf. On Traveler's Night, no less.
The one with the yellow eyes?
That's the one. Eating bones, making that cracking sound, it's described quite vividly. And Sir Kieren doesn't just say, oh, a wolf. He calls it a prodigy.
A prodigy?
Yeah, like a sign. Scrawled by inhuman hands, pointing, is the phrase used.
Wow.
So right away, you see how this world works. A natural event, maybe, but it's instantly read as supernatural. An omen. It really sets the tone for reality being a bit more flexible, let's say. And it shows how deeply ingrained that belief in signs is.
That sense of unease, it just builds, doesn't it? Because they try to avoid Gravenholm.
Right. Durand wanted to bypass it.
But they end up there anyway, and that's where the rug gets completely pulled out from under him.
Exactly. The reason he expected to inherit, his older brother, Osric, was supposed to be lost at sea.
But he wasn't.
Nope. Found alive. Suddenly, Durand's whole future, the one he's trained 14 years for, just vanishes.
His father even says something like, not much left for second sons, right?
Pretty much. Little left for second sons in Errest the Old. It highlights how rigid that society is. Your birth order dictates so much.
So that path is just gone. His identity, his future, completely upended. And not just by family stuff. So, okay, that door closes. Where does he turn next? What happens?
Well, the next big turn is pretty dramatic. He falls down a well, accidentally.
Falls down a well.
And down there, he meets this being. Ancient, huge, called the Power, with metal eyes. That's chilling detail.
The Traveler.
Right, the Traveler, who talks about time before time, about creation itself being frayed at the seams.
Frayed at the seams.
Yeah. And say he's there because he's near. It suggests something cosmic, way beyond everyday magic.
And this Traveler gives him a prophecy.
He does. Says Durand will find a place, a share of glory, and a beauty, a woman.
So his destiny gets sort of rebooted right there. But is he just a piece in some bigger game? Or are these prophecies just, confirming what might happen anyway? What do the sources suggest?
That's the interesting part. The sources kind of leave that tension hanging. Fate versus free will. Is it all laid out, or do his choices matter?
Right.
His journey seems to suggest that even if destiny is written by, quote, inhuman hands, you still have to choose. You still have to endure to get your share of glory.
So he doesn't just wait around for glory to find him?
Not at all. He adapts fast, joins up with Lazar Goal's company.
Okay. And what are they doing?
Their job is to hunt down this corrupt bailiff in a place called Tormental. Cheating peasants, making Lord Radamor look bad. It's Durand's first real taste of knight-errantry. Fighting for justice, not just family or inheritance, almost like he's actively chasing that prophecy.
That's quite a shift. And then he runs into these Rook guys.
Yes. The Rooks. First, just one. A small man in a black robe. A guard corps, as sources call it. Very distinct look.
Like a uniform.
Perhaps. Later, he sees more of them, and they're clearly allied with Lord Radamor, influencing him.
And Harriman, the storyteller he meets again, he has ideas about them.
He does. Herman suggests they might be fallen priests. People who got into the wrong books, started messing with dark magic, became unclean. So it's not just political advisors. There's a sense of corrupted spiritual power there.
Okay, so dark magic and politics mixing. That's never good.
Definitely not. And the sources show how ruthless this alliance is. There are already these rumblings against the king, general unhappiness, and the Rooks and Radamor are exploiting that. Radamor, under their influence, threatens to burn Tormentel down over that stolen money, blaming the villagers, calling them traitors.
Wow, just to make a point.
Or to consolidate power. It shows Radamor's ruthlessness and how easily he's swayed by these dark influences. It's clearly escalating beyond just a local issue. It's becoming a real power play for the kingdom.
The stakes are getting seriously high now. It's not just Durand's future, it's the whole realm potentially shifting. So things get too hot for Durand, and he has to flee Radamor.
Pretty much, yeah. Which leads him back to Hesperand, the Skald. And Hesperand has some crucial information about this place, Hesperand.
The Lost Duchy.
Exactly. Hesperand calls it an otherworld, the place where creation is frayed at the seams.
We heard that phrase before from the Traveler.
We did. It connects things. Hesperand says time works differently there. Reality is unstable. And he warns about the first ones in the Blackthorn. Ancient prophet types.
Okay, so what is Hesperand really, according to the sources, and who are these first ones, more than just hermits?
The sources describe Hesperand as literally torn from creation.
Oh.
By a spell involving someone called Duke Eorkin. So it's not just different, it's fundamentally broken off. A place where the veil between worlds is thin.
Right.
And the first ones, they seem almost elemental. Primordial beings tied to the magic that made Hesperand what it is. Their prophecies aren't just predictions. They're like echoes of those deep magical forces. It really shows how magic isn't just spells here, it's woven into the land itself.
And Durand goes there. What happens when he gets into this frayed place?
Well, first, another fated-seeming encounter. He rescues a woman by a stream from some brigands.
Okay.
And she says something strange. That she'd seen his face long ago, or dreamt it. That instant connection again.
And she turns out to be important later.
Very. Later, Durand joins another company, Lamoric's. They end up at this mysterious castle in Hesperand for a tournament. And the woman from the stream, she's the Lady of the Bower, with striking red hair, red as new blood.
The Lady of the Bower. Okay, so destiny seems to be pulling threads together here. But what about the place itself? You said it was weird. How weird?
Extremely weird. The sources mention a village, Yidran. People just vanished. Then reappeared, but naked, pale. Trapped in a time between times.
Trapped, like ghosts.
Sort of. Stuck out of sync. And Hesperand gives this stark warning. Don't eat or drink anything in Hesperand.
Why not?
Because you could get lost there forever. Or, if you manage to leave, you might just crumble into bones and ashes the moment you step back onto normal mortal soil.
Whoa, so like one bite of food and you're either stuck out of time or you turn to dust? That's, yeah, that's unsettling. How does anyone even function there?
It seems some people can navigate it, maybe those with certain bloodlines or just resilience. We don't get a full explanation. But amidst all this danger and weirdness, Durand ends up fighting in this tournament.
The one at the castle.
Yeah, and he does well, proves his skill. And Lamoric's captain, Coensar, sees this.
And knights him.
Right there. It's very pragmatic. Coensar basically says, if you're Lamoric's man, you're mine, no matter what you've done. Just like that, Durand's a knight.
That's a world away from the knighting he planned back at Aconel, isn't it? Earned in this bizarre, dangerous place. Is it presented as like a better kind of knighthood? Or just what you have to do when the world's falling apart?
That's a great question. It definitely lacks the ceremony, maybe the initial prestige, but the sources frame it as being rooted in real loyalty, in having faced actual danger. Forged in chaos, you could say. It suggests the old ways aren't enough anymore.
Right.
His whole journey is sort of redefining knighthood for him. It's not about birthright or money now. It's about surviving, being loyal, facing monsters, both literal and political.
Okay, so this Lady of the Bower, the woman from the stream, her identity gets revealed.
Yes. She's actually Lady Dorwyn, and she's Lamoric's wife, also the daughter of a Duke Severin of Mornaway. So, high nobility.
But there's more to her, isn't there? Something about a myth.
Right. She's connected to the Maid's Tale, an ancient story about a figure who helped get the wheel of life moving in creation. Very fundamental stuff.
Wow.
And she gives Durand a token, a green veil, which links him, symbolically at least, to her in this powerful ancient background.
When people like Dorwyn are tied into these huge myths and destinies, what does that do to them personally? Do the sources touch on the cost?
They imply it's immense, that personal lives, desires, they kind of take a back seat to these massive forces. Dorwyn becomes almost a symbol, a conduit for this ancient power rather than just a person. It shows how destiny can sort of overshadow individual identity.
That's heavy. And this personal drama unfolds against a backdrop of major political tension, right, at Tern Gyre.
Exactly. All the big players, the magnates, they gather for the Great Council. The main item on the agenda, voting on whether to forgive the king's massive debt.
And Radamor sees this as his chance, still working with the Rooks.
Absolutely. He plans to use the vote, likely a no vote, to weaken the king. Maybe even make a play for the throne himself, using his claimed descent from some old King Carandas.
So Durand, now Sir Durand, is caught up in this.
He is. He's helping Lamoric's company prepare. He knows the stakes. He says, it'll be war if we don't stop it. The political and the supernatural are really converging now.
And speaking of supernatural, more weird stuff happens at Tern Gyre. More prodigies.
Oh, yeah. While they're camped, Durand sees something truly disgusting. Worms, grubs, maggots, just writhing all over the sleeping soldiers.
Ugh, what did it signify?
It's linked explicitly to something's come and the host below. It's another sign of unnatural forces at work, the instability of creation, a really visceral image of the Rooks' corruption seeping into the world. It tells you the threat isn't just political ambition, it's something rotten, something from beneath.
That's incredibly creepy, a physical sign of that decay. So the big vote happens at the council. How does it go down?
It's incredibly tense. The vote on forgiving the debt ends in a tie. Looks like the king is stymied, and Radamor's plan is working.
But then,
Durand steps forward, the Lady of the Bower, representing Hesperand, that lost duchy everyone thought was just legend.
she gets a vote.
Apparently. And she casts the deciding vote. Yay. Forgiving the king's debt.
Oh, just like that.
Just like that. Radamor's whole scheme collapses. He's furious, defeated. It's a stunning moment.
It really is. Politics completely overturned by this ancient power stepping out of the mists of Hesperand.
Precisely. It shows that the old lore, the hidden places, they still hold immense power in this world, maybe more than kings and councils. It feels like all those threads, the prophecy, Jorwin's nature, Hesperand, they all just came together at that exact moment to change the course of events.
So after all that, Durand is officially Sir Durand, a knight, Lamoric's man.
Yes, properly acknowledged.
But it's a knighthood earned through, well, hell, basically, not handed to him. He even gets the gear of Sturlac, right? Someone who died in those Hesperand tournaments.
That's right. A constant physical reminder of the cost, the danger he went through. His whole understanding of what knighthood means has been reshaped by these experiences.
But victory comes at a price, doesn't it? Even though Radamor's plot failed.
A heavy price. The sources mention Agrin and another knight are dead after the conflicts. Durand is there, helping bury them.
That must be grim.
There's even this poignant bit where they discuss the difference between plain murder and war, and the harsh reality of burying comrades without proper rites because of the circumstances. It grounds the fantastic elements in some very real human cost.
And Durand still has that green veil, Dorwin's token.
He does. A connection to her, to Hesperand, to all those mysteries about creation fraying at the seams. It feels like a loose end or maybe a promise of more to come.
Because it's not really over, is it? Even with Radamor defeated for now.
Far from it. The world feels deeply unsettled. Those forces that were unleashed, the Rooks' influence, the host below, they haven't just vanished.
Yeah.
The hidden truths that came out. It all suggests this was just one battle, not the end of the war. The sources mention the eye of heaven watching, the host below still stirring. It leaves you with a sense that this peace is fragile. Just a pause in a much larger ongoing struggle.
So his new knighthood isn't an ending. It's maybe just the start of him being fully involved in these deeper conflicts. #tag ahead outro. Well, when you lay it all out like that, Durand's story from the sources you've shared, it goes from this simple goal, getting knighted, to this huge saga, magic, politics, sacrifice. It really shows how sometimes the path you end up on is just way wilder, way tougher than anything you could have planned. He had a map, but ended up off the edge of it, you know?
Absolutely. Finding purpose in places and alliances he never would have imagined. And I think his story really hammers home that idea in a world where you've got ancient spirits, where the land itself is frayed, where destiny might be scrawled by inhuman hands.
Yeah.
Your choices, your will, how you endure things, that still counts. It still shapes your path. Even when you think you've figured things out, there's always more to face, more to learn.
So something for you, our listeners, to think about. In a world like Durand's, where reality itself seems unstable and destiny feels imposed, how much control do we really have? How much of our journey is making choices, and how much is just enduring what comes our way?
A tough question.
Definitely something to mull over.
Hey,
Until our next deep dive,